I had tequila for the first time in my life when I was 16, right? We went into a bar where you have to be 18 plus.
Yeah.
And it was, when Corona was happening on like on a street, there's a whole street of partying, right?
Hi, Kenny.
Bodyguard said to me and my friends, yeah, I'm gonna need to see some ID. I'm like, wait, I'm like 15 or 16 at the time. So he says like, I'm just kidding, guys, get in. And he says, wait, I'm gonna need to see some Corona pass. And I'm like, shit. It's like, I'm just kidding, get in there, boys. So he double duped us, right? And he just lets us in. I had tequila for the first time, right? With the salt around the rim of the glass. And oh my god, I thought it was sugar, man. I engaged that tequila with the happiest smile on my face. When I finished, I was crying. Because it was just straight up salt in my mouth, bro.
This is the start of a new series that I've been working on for quite a while called the Q&A. So the basic idea is super simple. We're taking people involved in Marvel Rivals, whether it's pro players, managers, coaches, casters, devs, whoever is willing to kind of come on and sit and chat with me. Hopefully, the more we do it, the more people we can get as well. And the idea is we come on, we play some quick plays together. So we jump in queue together and just play some quick plays, jam out. And that's your kind of background for all you wonderful ADHD or people who just need that little background thing. So we sit, we play some quick plays while we sit and do an interview and we talk about whatever it is. I have done some pretty deep research for this. I've got a lot of questions to ask. We've got a lot of things to go over with Knuten, everything ranging from like what made him want to become a pro to like the state of Marvel Rivals and stuff. And the idea just being like, it's a kind of casual interview setting where you kind of get a bit of a behind the scenes look of what happens in a game like this, whether that's from the industry side or as a pro player. So obviously today we're with Knuten, so we're going to be talking a lot about what it's like to be a pro player. So I think you guys are going to find it super interesting. And hopefully we'll have some good gameplay while we're doing it as well. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. I think it's going to be super, super fun. There's going to be hopefully lots more to come. I'm aiming to try and do one of these every 2 weeks, assuming that we can get like the guests and stuff for it.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
How are you? I've got you on camera as well. How are we?
I am, chilling. I'm good.
We've got the Pikachu hat on. Nice. So I guess, do you want to start before we hop into a game? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, yeah, we can do a short introduction. Well, my name is Knuten in game, and my real name is Mikkel. I'm 19, and I play Marvel Rivals a lot. I think that's like a very short introduction of me.
And you are Danish?
Yes, sir. Proud to be one.
Absolutely. And you're still there right now, yeah?
Yeah.
So for any of you that don't know, Knuten was playing for Zero Tenacity during the Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament that just happened, but are currently free agent, right? And we'll talk about
that's correct.
About that. So I guess before we do anything, I think let's talk about what people probably want to know the most from you, which is, have you seen the 3.5 changes that happened yesterday?
I have. Yeah, I have. Yeah, okay. I'm devastated by some of the changes. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, can we have a little go through of what we like, what we don't like, how are you feeling about it?
The fact that they removed Triple S, it has hit me deep in the heart like a dagger. I've been betrayed by the Marvel Rival dev team, and I'm not sure how to recover from this one. And they also nerfed my Hela Ragnarok rebirth, so it's a double dagger as a matter of fact. So I don't know how I feel about this right now.
They removed the Loki from the team up, right? So
yeah, that's devastating. That was the good one. They could remove Thor and was kind of, we can survive that. But Loki, that was the breaking point. And then obviously, the introduction of Blade and anti-heal, that's gonna be naughty.
Yeah, okay.
That's gonna be.
Let's talk about Blade. Let's talk about Blade for a second. So the anti-heal, do you know? Because I don't know the numbers on that yet, because they haven't released it or anything.
Yeah, so it's not 100%. That's all I know. It says reduced healing. So I don't know in the percentage how much that is, but it's not 100%. So it's like more like not anti-heal, more like reduced healing, and you run that tank down.
Yeah, because it's I would guess it's like it's a cooldown thing, so it's only for like a few seconds rather than anything. Yeah, so it's it's a few seconds of reduced healing, which is still very impactful, by the way. Don't undermine that. It's going to be really good. My takeaway from that, honestly, is could you tell us why do they hate tanks so much? What is like? Why do they hate people playing tank? It's ridiculous. It feels like a very anti-tank mechanic, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I think it's to shake up the meta a little bit. A lot of brawl has been going on, and I think kind of his kit punishes brawl, and his hyper aggressivity punishes brawl even more. So I think it's kind of to shake up the brawl meta, where we want to move a little bit away from brawl and more into every other composition there is.
And if you can just, for people who maybe don't know what you're talking about with like brawl and stuff and the different types of archetypes of characters, if you just want to explain brawl a little bit.
So brawl is like one of the most basic types of, front to back, which means tanks in front of you, DPS in the middle, and healers behind, and you just go straight forward. It's like a train that doesn't stop. You brawl into them quite literally. That's why it's called brawl. So it means no fear. You fly into the enemy, and then the better brawl wins. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a front to back, basically getting in their face and pushing as a front to back unit.
Yeah.
So like typical brawl champions would be people like Hulk, I suppose.
Bucky. Yeah, Hulk, Bucky, Thing, Mag, Strange. What do we have? Oh, we have Bucky, Blade, obviously now. Even Iron Man, I'll chuck in there. Punisher.
Interesting.
All kind of like bulky, bulky heroes, I'll call them. Like Punisher is a bulky hero,
so ones that are just kind of a bigger presence, kind of, and they're just...
Yes, yeah. Right. It's almost like the most damage wins the brawl, because the front line that collapses first in the brawl, they lose the brawl, and then you lose the fight.
And how do you think Blade is going to fit into that? Like, how do you see him from your initial impression fitting into the meta?
Yeah, I mean, like with brawl into Blade, like especially, the thing is you don't want your tanks to die during brawl, and if Blade comes in, gives like say 50% anti-healing on your tank, he's gonna get melted, and then you just lose the brawl, and then there you go.
And then your front to back has to move backwards.
Yeah,
and you just lose the
and that's just I think he's really gonna be punishing every tank. I don't know why they hate tanks so much, to be honest, but it's not gonna be a fun time for tanks at all.
I play a lot of tank. I end up playing a lot of tank, and it sucks. Like, we got Emma, and we were like, "Oh, Emma's so strong. She's so powerful. This is amazing. We love this." And then it just feels like, every season it gets harder and harder to play tank. I think the other thing about Blade, how do you feel about the ult? Do you think, from what you've seen, does it look overpowered? Because it feels like it's kind of a one-shot, no? On like a lot of low HP characters.
Yeah, I think the thing is that, it's a confined space. Like kind of like in the Moral, where you can just kind of walk out of it. So, it does massive damage.
Yeah.
But evading it isn't impossible. So I think that's what kind of counteracts, it does an amazing amount of damage, but I step one step to the, yeah.
Okay.
If they're very clumped up, it could be very good. If they're very split up, I mean, like you go for one person, they just walk to the right or to the left. Chat real smooth. No, and then the damage is just it's a wasted ult kind of.
Is there like a map that you think Blade, just like off the top of your head, is there a map
Hellshaven.
Blade is going to be really good? Hellshaven. Why specifically that one?
All the confined spaces and his aggressive kit is going to go amazing. It's like PP, all the confined space and his aggressive kit makes PP really good on Hellshaven.
Okay, so that one particularly. In terms of the other changes, we talked about the team up. So the res comp going, which I think is kind of big. I don't know how you feel. It feels like that was a big reason to pick Adam. So do you think Adam has a place now, or is it only with Luna now?
The thing is with Adam, his whole value was being able to sustain half the team, and then rest the entire team afterwards. Because you have 3 rests and then you have a 5-man rest, and right? Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, now he's a walking box, no movement abilities, mind you, 2 E's and a soul bond, right?
True.
So he has nothing to go around with in like movement. So I feel like Adam is just gone useless now, to be honest. I love playing Adam. One of the people I played in Ignite as well for the team, and I just feel like he's a walking box of death now. I mean, like you get to revive, haha, and then you die again. You just farm your death,
Could you see a triple support because of the Luna team up being apparently? I mean, it looks really good, but it's kind of it's more of an anti-dive tool, is the way that I viewed it, because it's a one-on-one link, right?
Yeah, it could probably be used in triple support. lineups where, like, if they play heavy dive, for example, you have your soulbound and your 2Es, then Adam is still good. But I think to anything else that's not dive, Adam will just like be obliterated, discombobulated, you know. So
it is also worth noting for all of you that we still don't know the balance changes. So we only know the team up changes so far. So we don't know if they're planning on, I don't know, mega buffing Adam or something, or any other changes surrounding it. But any other like big things that stood out to you from the 3.5 changes, or anything you feel is like really missing and that you would love to see?
I'm really glad that they're adding bigger penalties for people leaving ranked and compensation, because that's one of the big things that kills my joy of this game. Is even though it's one loss where it's not a fair game, and I get punished for someone leaving. The fact that they changed both of those, where I get compensated for someone leaving and they get banned longer, I think that's an amazing change. It's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't change the gameplay.
Though? Like, do you think it should be fully compensated, or are you okay with like just a little bit?
In Counter-Strike, it was 50%, and I think 50% in this game would be fine as well, because it kind of eases the blow, you know? It's like, I'd rather lose 10 than 20, you know? It's
of course.
Mentally, it looked so much better to me. Okay, it sucks, we lost the game, we had a leaver, he got banned for 7 days, I only lost 10, you know? We just keep playing.
Yeah, you can deal with it.
But if you lose 25 to a game where you have someone that's left, you know, I want to go to bed, you know? I don't want to play anymore after that.
True. And I guess the only other thing we'll talk about before we kind of get into it, I suppose, is one of the biggest topics of conversation right now in the scene, particularly with people like Necros jumping in on it and talking about it, is engagement-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking. What's your viewpoint from that? Do you think it's kind of overinflated? Do you think people just are using it as an excuse? Do you see it? And do you think it's something that needs to be dealt with?
I feel like matchmaking is really bad, to be honest. I don't enjoy majority of my games when I play to rank up. Like, it's especially rough in the first part of the season, right? Because I can get matched with someone who was Eternity 12 when I was, one above all 500 points. And there's a massive difference in skill level. Not to insult the other player. It's not fun. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for him. You know. So it's just horrible. I mean,
even at like the top end of play, you're still seeing that. Like,
yes.
Seeing that massive difference after the rank resets and the lack of placement games.
You can get some surprisingly bad gamers. What is it called? Players, gamers. What? In your games where you think like, how is this person in the same game as me when he doesn't understand what the hell is going on and he doesn't understand how to press his keyboard? You know. And then, people chalk it up to EOMM. I don't actually think it exists. I don't know if it does exist.
That was going to be my question. Do you actually think it's there, or do you think it's people are using it as an excuse for like bad play?
I mean, like, I don't think it's a thing. I don't think they would go into depth to have that kind of mental like advantage over players. I don't see why they would do that. But it's kind of funny to chalk it up to EOMM if if I had 3 games in a row where someone was completely mentally AFK, you know? I'm like, EOMM is on my ass, you know? You chalk it up to that. It's copium, you know? It's kind of funny, but I don't think it actually exists, and I think it's just more copium-based.
Interesting. So what's really cool is I actually did a bit of a deep dive on engagement-based matchmaking the other day, just to see because I use it all the time. I'm like, this fucking matchmaking. I'm in loser's queue. I'm in winner's queue, right?
Yeah.
You hear it all the time from streamers, right? And I say it all the time. So I decided to actually look into it properly. And it's a thing that started with EA. So we know that it exists. The only question is how heavily have rivals implemented it within their system, which we don't know because they don't talk about it and they won't mention it. So I guess it's kind of at this point, it's still a bit up in the air and we don't really know whether it's actually in the game or not. But I would agree the matchmaking, I think most people feel the matchmaking is pretty tragic and is probably one of the worst for me anyway, I think out of all the competitive games that we have, especially in the streaming space, it feels like one of the more difficult ones to navigate.
Yeah, and I think it's also important, like, because you either get games where you stomp or you get stomped. There's no, like, close games. And, if it's not fun to play ranked, that's a big incentive to just stop playing the game. And what's the point of playing, of course, there's some people that just enjoy playing quick match, and that's absolutely fine, right? But a lot of people, they want to go in ranked. They want to be like, I want to play to the best of my ability, with my team. I want to try and win, And if you just get stomped, and stomped and stomped, and then you stomp. It's not fun, you know. It's not fun winning a game without a fight. It's not fun losing a game without a fight, you know.
I always enjoy the closer ones, you know, where it's like 4-3, you go to OT, and you've had to really fight for it. Those are the ones that I really enjoy.
Yeah, where it's those like nail biting matches where you hit a 3-man ult and then you win the game after like a triple overtime. You know, that's the games you want to play. Like even if I lose that game, I know it's been an enjoyable game for me to play.
So before we jump in, I thought we'd just do like a quick little bit of background, I guess, for people who may not know your kind of how you got to be a pro and stuff. So you joined, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this info. You joined Z10 at the end of May this year.
Yeah, so it was actually earlier than that, in March, where I joined up. Yes, and that originated from the ecstatic team that we had doing the original old invitational with $100,000 on the line. If you remember the first invitational there was, we played under the name Ecstatic. You know, it was our own name. We were 6 players and some coaches, and we had no org, right? And then C10 picks us up.
And then you left after the Ignite around the end of June, and are currently a free.
Yeah, that's correct.
In terms of like what people would know you for, what do you feel your perception is? What do you feel like people will know you for?
I think I'm a little goofy guy sometimes in the competitive scene. I think that's what people remember me by. I'm being goofy and you know, I take, of course I take it serious, but you know, I'm just a very goofy person. And then I think people, you know, consider me a good DPS player. I'd hope
your Hela in the beginning, right? You played
I was
a lot of Hela.
Yeah, I was a heavy Hela one trick in the first like two and a half seasons of this game.
And we mentioned I figured it out earlier. But did you say you had was it an 87 kill game on Hela or something?
Yeah. That's like, I think that's my record, yeah.
Wild. And what made you, was it the straight aiming skill of Hela being a hit scam that drew you to zero in on that hero?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you knew this, but I originated from Counter-Strike. I was a professional Counter-Strike player before I moved to this game. I retired from Counter-Strike, and then a couple of months later, I found myself in this game, a hero shooter. I've never played any kind of hero shooters. I didn't play Overwatch, I didn't play Paladins, I didn't play Fortnite. So it was kind of all weird to me. I just started playing the game for fun. I was like, wait, this is so different from, you know, I played first-person FPS my entire life, right? So I think like a Counter-Strike player, which has its downs and it has its ups, you know? But kind of Hela was like just a straight... I actually used to play Scarlet to begin with, because someone recommended me Scarlet. So in all of my playmat matches, I played Scarlet. And then I figured out Hela is absolutely busted in the Season 0. And I started aiming with her.
Intensive hero to
to the most, yeah. Really and I realized, wait, you know, I can aim. I've always been able to aim. I've been one of the best aimers in my respective leagues in Counter-Strike, and it kind of just drew me to that hero. And mostly, I would say the aim carried me to where I am today, because I didn't understand positioning at all. I didn't understand the fundamentals behind the hero shooter game, right? So anyone that comes from Overwatch, you know, obviously they understand the fundamentals of how everything works, you know, even though it's a different game. It's the same set fundamentals. I come from a game where it's completely different, and I think completely different. And that's definitely been the biggest challenge of my career so far, is my knowledge, you know, and that's why I work so hard on my knowledge, because I know I can be the individually best player in the world, but if I don't have knowledge behind it, I'm just not going to be good enough.
Okay, we're kind of delving into a topic as we're going to kind of go into a bit later.
Okay.
So let's just queue. We'll crack into some games as we. I had a whole thing about where you started. So I guess let's kind of talk about it a little bit. What was so you said Counter-Strike before. What was the first gaming love when you were growing up? What was the first game that got you into gaming as a thing?
When I was 9, my uncle introduced me to Counter-Strike. Yeah, I was pretty young back then. And I started playing a zombie game mode. Yeah, it's been Counter-Strike my entire life until now, actually. That's the only game I've ever played. So my uncle introduced me to that, right? And then I played it throughout the years. I have over 15,000 hours in the game now.
Jesus.
When I was 14, I dropped out of high school to continue a special course high school division where I live in the school, and it's esports. So instead of a regular school, you go to school, but for esports. So you quite literally have
That's
esport
so
classes. Cool. Yeah, so that was the last 2 years of my high school, and then I just continued.
Do you still do the normal lessons like math and science?
Yeah, so but that's at the bare minimum, like legal level. So it's kind of silly.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
interesting.
So I have like 2 hours of math a week, for example, right? And then I had 8 hours of Counter-Strike in one day. So it's very nice, you know. It's
in terms of like the what you would do for esports lessons. Is it just playing the game, or would you do things surrounding esports? Like, how would you join a team?
Yeah, like imagine every fundamental about esports, right? Like the social things, the interviews, how your gameplay, like your mindset, what you think, what you do, right? Everything is like an entire school course, right? Everything is included in that.
That's so interesting.
And when I say everything, I mean literally every aspect of esports or socials, like relating to esports, is in those classes.
So
which is why
they give you stuff like PR training and things of like.
Yeah, which is also why people notice it during my interviews in Ignite, that I was kind of like, I just knew what I was saying, and I think a lot of my knowledge from interviews come from Counter-Strike, and my whole demeanor of interviewing, the way I am when I interview, also comes from Counter-Strike.
And is that so? Is it like a specialist school that you go there for, or is it like quite common now? Because that was
not very common
when I was growing up. So
yeah, it's not very common. It's mostly for like the top 40 like children in Denmark, or like not children, but like teenagers.
So you got scouted for this, and you were like invited to.
Yeah.
It's like a scholarship kind of thing. And
yeah, pretty much a scholarship, but everything is just free, because it's paid for. It's a specialized program.
And were they scouting you from? You were already doing Counter-Strike stuff, and they.
Yeah, so I played for teams beforehand, like just by knowing people, and that's where they knew me from to begin with.
I mean, that was going to be one of my like later questions, I suppose. Is like, how did you first get into it? So how did you approach your first team, I guess, or how were you? Was it just you playing in pubs and you got noticed, or did you have to approach?
Yeah,
someone?
so I played a lot of something called Face It. I think we have that in Overwatch as well. I didn't know this until like a month ago, by the way. I thought Face It was, Face It was only Counter-Strike exclusive, but apparently it isn't.
Really? No, it's a company, isn't it? Yeah.
So I was, at some point I was like one of the youngest, highest elo players in the game, in the entire game. I was 4,800 elo, which is amazing. Like that's a lot. Level 10 is 2,000, right? So I'm 2,800 above the highest level, which is like,
I don't know that.
I don't know how to put it into perspective, but just let me tell you, it's bonkers.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I just get noticed.
That's how you get scouted,
yeah. I was, I've always been a player with, I like doing style. I've been a star player my entire life in Counter-Strike, and to explain star player really quickly, it's just a player that, how would I explain it? I have someone go in for me so I can kill the people, So I'm quite literally being set up to success,
They're baiting you so then you can get the kills. And take the kills.
I let them die so I can do the stylish stuff, They go in first, they die. And then I kill 2 people, And that's always been me.
Yeah.
And that requires a high individual skill. And that's what I again strive myself in. Being a highly individual player. Like individual well player.
Mechanically skilled, yeah.
Yeah, mechanically, there you go.
Which I assume is like, I guess that's what DPS then appealed to you in Rivals, because I think most people
100%.
consider DPS being the most mechanically skilled role out of the 3, I guess. For a lot of the heroes.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely what inspired me.
That was the thing. That's really cool.
It's only a thing in very developed countries, like Denmark, for example. Otherwise, it's not really very common.
I mean, I was going to ask how your parents kind of felt about gaming, but I suppose if you had the
oh yeah, they did not like it. I just say like they support me now because they understand it more. They're very unacknowledged about it, and they just don't understand that there was a future in it back then, right? But like they were very hesitant because that also meant me going away, me not being at home when I was at the young age I was.
Did you have to live? It was like a boarding school. You had to live there.
Yeah, I lived on the school.
Oh shit! But that's really young to be doing a boarding school type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very young.
How was that experience for you? Was it kind of weird or?
I think it's the best years of my life so far. Like the bonds you create with people when you live with them every day, it's unbelievable. The amount of good times you have, you don't realize when you grow up, and you become an adult, you don't have time for that anymore as much, right? So you think back on it, and you just think about it. It's been such an awesome time, being able to, just be with people and laugh. Like every day, and enjoy what you're doing. Go to school for Counter-Strike, which was, with my life passion back then.
I mean, it's so many people's dream, isn't it? To be able to just go to schooling or like getting paid to do what you love.
100%, 100%.
Capture the mission area.
So I guess then, you'd gone to school for Counter-Strike. That was kind of, you were making a name for yourself there. What made you make the transition then from that to Rivals? Was there like a point where you went, this is the game I'm going to focus on? Or were you just having a good time and went, I actually really enjoy Rivals?
Yeah, so when Counter-Strike 2 came out, I absolutely despised the game. And,
really?
I didn't like it at all. Yeah, I think it's horrible, and I still think it's horrible to this day.
Any reason? Is it like, does it just feel janky or like...
The gameplay is different. And it's just, it feels different. Like, imagine doing something the same for like so long, years upon years. Yeah, and then something comes out that's supposedly the same, but like not at all. And with that, it took almost all of my individual skill with it, what I've been using my years to build up with, what I took pride in, all removed within that one update. And I had to make that very hard decision. I had to be real with myself, and I just realized in the new game wouldn't be good enough to compete at the levels I want to be satisfied with, which was like when I took the decision, I low-key had a tear in my eye, right? Because it was my life's
That's a hard emotional thing to like.
Yeah, that was very.
Things come to terms with.
It was very, very emotionally hard for me to make that decision, because it's been what I've been striding myself in for the last 7 years of my life, right? So
yeah.
But I made the decision.
Did you have a discussion like with your parents and stuff to say, hey?
No.
This is
personal thing. Yeah, only myself actually. So it's definitely something that I found very hard. And then my friend showed me this game for fun, and then somehow I ended up being a professional in this game within like.
And then you just got into it and started jamming. So how do your parents feel about it now? Like now that you can show them that you can make money from it and it can be a job. Are they much more on board, or is it still a bit like?
Yeah, well, obviously now I'm an adult, right? But definitely like they started supporting me on my older years when they realized, and I informed them, more about this game is something I can live off and it's something I want to do. It's like being a football player, it was just not very recognized back then. Then rather than it's way more recognized now than it was before. Being an esports player,
if I'd have tried to do this, but for those of you who don't know, I'm 37, right? So I'm way older. If I'd have tried to do this when I was young, my parents would have kicked me out. They'd be like, "You want to be a gamer? What are you talking about?" I was back in the time of GoldenEye and 64 kind of vibe. But yeah, that's actually it's amazing how things change. I think now that streaming particularly has kind of opened so many doors for gaming to be.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely happy I made the change though, because I think I'll reach way further in this game than I ever will in Counter-Strike. Even though in my heart there still is love for Counter-Strike. Not Counter-Strike 2 though, I hate that game. Despise it with my whole heart.
Do you think, did you notice a lot of people move with you and feel the same and be like, CS2 just feels so bad?
There was a lot of people that quit CS, very veteran players that, were the symbol of Counter-Strike, what defined Counter-Strike, left the game, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
some of the most decorated players ever leaves the scene, right, or retires. I think that's diabolical.
Was there any player that you super? I guess I would ask for both CS when you were in the CS vibe and now for Rivals. Is there a player that you super look up to and is like a big inspiration for you?
When I was a child, the whole team behind my inspiration of Counter-Strike was called Astralis, which at that point in time was the most dominating team ever to be seen in Counter-Strike. They won 4 majors, which is imagine winning 4 ignites in a row, right? Like that's just dominance beyond dominance. You know, it's not even close. And that team definitely.
They were Danish team, right? If I'm.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. And that they were 100% my inspiration for esports in all inspired me to do what I do now.
Have you got anyone in Rivals that like as you're kind of learning the game, or even now that you're like, okay, this player is someone to look out for, and
no,
you watch a lot?
Not at all. I think it's weird because I joined the scene. You know, I don't know anyone. I started playing and I got picked up, so I still don't know anyone. I'm blissfully ignorant, right? Because I don't know anything. I don't have anyone to look up to. I think it's not that I'm sure there's people I could look up to. I just don't know, you know?
Yeah. Where did the name Knuten come from?
So originally, when I went to the esports school, I was named Knut. So Knutsen without the EN, right? And that originated from my second name, Knutsen, which is similar. Yeah. And then, like, over the years, somehow, it went from Knuts to Knuten. I don't know when that change happened, because I don't remember. But then after that, I just stuck with Knutsen, because I've always wanted something short, simple, and unique, you know? And I feel like Knutsen represents me now. I am Knutsen, Knutsen is me, you know?
Yeah, now there's no, like, separation. You got so used
to it. Not at all, no.
Just, it's... So if this is an interesting question I ask to like anyone in the online space, if someone said Knuten IRL, let's say you were just out at like a cafe or something, and someone said, "Hey Knuten," would you like respond to that immediately and register? Or would that
I've had
like,
it.
this is weird.
I've actually had it happen before. Yeah, and I catch it more than my normal name. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, 100%. But I've had it happen before where I'm just walking somewhere, you know, don't expect anything. And then I hear my gamer tag. I'm like, wait, that's me, gang. Yo, let's go, you know. And yeah, and I just respond to that more. Jesus Christ, what's happening? I'm dying real quick. Hold up.
That's alright.
Yeah, but like 100%. I feel like I react more to that name because it's more distinct. You know, a lot of people is named my first name, but no one is named my gamer tag. You know.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of funny. We talked about this slightly earlier. I wanted my IRL name in my name, Nick, and no one uses it ever. It's either Nickish or it's simply. No one calls me Nick ever. It's ridiculous, but I just did it because I didn't want to confuse myself. We forgot to talk about your peripherals. I know you get asked this a lot on your stream. About like what mouse and keyboard you use. Is there? So I guess we'll start with mouse.
Yeah. So I actually I use a Logitech mouse and headsets. I mean mouse and keyboard, right? Which is a Logitech G915. I think it's called. I actually don't remember. It's on my pro settings page, right? I don't remember the long name, and it's pink, which is very important. It's a pink.
The G Pro Superlight 2.
Yeah, and then I use my mouse. It's G Pro Superlight 2. That's also pink, by the way. Very important details, guys. And then for my headset, I recently swapped to the Death Adder V2 Pro Black Shark V2 Pro 2023 edition. Because the mic is absolutely bonkers on this headset. It's a Bluetooth headset, and you know, my main issues with Bluetooth headsets is the mic, right? But on this, the mic is, I think, it's super clean, you know.
What made you what made you use Logitech? Is it just something you've always used, or have you like tested a bunch of this as?
Yeah, most of my credentials originate from Astralis players using it back in my old days.
I see.
So that's actually where my
thing?
Yeah, that's actually where all of my peripherals come from. Is Counter-Strike, right? Where that's what they used. So that's why I'm using it, you know. Because you take inspiration from, if the best player in the world, the best aimer uses this mouse, you know, there's something 100%. With this mouse that's really good, you know.
I think that's why I wanted to bring it up, right? Because I'm sure people are going to feel that way about you, right? Like, what do you use to be the best? So I thought that was why people might want to know. And the keyboard, the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much everything actually. It's the same. It's kind of silly, right? Because you wouldn't expect something like that, but everyone takes inspiration from each other.
I think it's just nice to know that, you know, even at pro level, you still take inspiration from other people for what you use, right? And what DPI and like EDPI are you on?
Yeah, so actually I don't even know my EDPI, I just know my sense in DPI. So I've used 800, and my sense is 1.1.
So you're 880 EDPI. That's a low sense.
Also stagnant memories from my Counter-Strike career, where I played even lower sense, right? So that's one of those things that carried over to this game, which is low sense.
Are you a wrist aimer or are you like a full arm?
I'm a full arm aimer. I swing my arm.
That would be why the low sense, then I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things. Like Counter-Strike, you know, you need low sense. Everyone had low sense. Omega low sense, right? And in this game, it's not the same. But I'm used to low sense, right? So I just carry it over to this game. It's kind of funny sometimes.
If you were going to give someone advice about that, do you think it's better, like let's say as a DPS player, right? Given that you're a DPS player, would you advise people to have a lower sense or a higher sense? What do you think?
I think the thing with sense is that you can't take inspiration, you know, from sense. That is completely your trial and errors, you know? Yeah, you can have a complete messed up sense, and if that works for you, then that's all you need, you know? That's all you need.
Do you have like do you have a test, like a litmus test for finding the right sense for you?
Well, I kind of just play with what I like. It's just that simple, right? If I feel it's comfortable for me when I play the game, that's what I'm going to use. And I've changed sense like 1 or 2 times in my time playing Marvel Rivals. But that was only in the beginning. I haven't changed sense for like 6 months now, because I found the sense I like. And I don't need to swap it now.
But that was just like, it was just like pure feeling. It wasn't like you did 360
trial and error, you know.
anything.
I'm like, this is too, you know, this is way too fast for me, right? And then I swap off, and then I figured out, you know, okay, wait, if that's too much, right? I turn it down by like 0.20, right? Oh, that's still too much, and then, you know, trial and error continues, right?
Yeah. We're just gonna sneak in a couple of like questions because I've been ignoring chat a little bit here. So they've had a couple of questions. Best aiming tips?
Be consistent. Like... Yeah, it's hard because, like, for example, every day, right? I shoot bots for 20 minutes, which is just go into practice range, have a config set up, you know, like where you can load the bots fast, shoot for 30 minutes, and then, you know, if you want, I don't recommend too much because, you know, people tend to be friendly and everyone just gangs up on you, which is why I shoot bots. But I mean, like, I just recommend having a training regimen. 30 minutes a day is what I do, and it's more than enough for me to just stay consistent. Because the most important thing you can do with your aim is be consistent. Like, you can be the best aimer in the world. If you aren't consistent, it's whatever, you know? Consistency over, you know...
it leads so nicely into the section I was going to move into, which is talking about what you do as a pro, like what is expected of you in terms of like practicing and stuff. So that actually leads us really nicely. What would be like a typical day for you as a pro? Like, what would a typical day look like while you were with Z10, for example?
Well, we meet up for prac. We play the pracs, which is like we talk about what we want to try out, you know, comps-wise, stuff like that, right? After that, you know, I typically write down mistakes because I find it easier for me to remember after the game, and you go look at them, because you know, you have good intent about everything you do in a team game, but sometimes it's wrong. Right? And that's completely normal. So you need to figure out why you were doing that instead of something else you could be doing, right? Yeah. And VOD reviews is one of those things where I guess one of the most boring things. I would rather, you know, step on nails for the rest of my life, right? But you need it. You really, really need it. It's one of the things. If you don't do that, you're not going to be a pro player. And I can already tell you now. You know, it's about having that discipline to VOD especially. You should always train your aim, right? But VODing is something that you're privileged to do when you have a team, right? So right now, for example, I'm not going to VOD my ranked games, right? Because it's just tomfoolery, you know? Yeah. So when you have a team, use your privilege. VOD review every single game you have. Because it's one of the most rewarding things you can do.
And if someone was going to do that as, like, let's say an individual who isn't with a team or doesn't have, like, a coaching staff and stuff, what should people look out for in a VOD review? Like, what are you trying to find? And what? But if you're only on,
if you're by yourself, just one of the most important resources you have is your life, right? So if you stay alive, that's way more important than anything else in any class, right? Because then you hold that pressure. So one of the most important things you can do, which I struggled with a lot in the beginning, was if you have an 11 death game, right, where you win like 2-0 on a domination map, why do you have 11 deaths? You know, you go look at why did I do this? You know, it's silly. And then when you start kind of having the pattern of, okay, wait, I went here, I died. Why did I do that, right? When you recognize that, it's going to be way easier to, continue doing, obviously, right? And then in-game, you're going to recognize it as well. So you just stay alive, which is your most important resource.
Is there ever a time where dying is good? Like a good death? Or never, really? Just
maybe jumping into an Iron Man ult if it was going to kill 5 of your teammates. But like otherwise, there's... Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't say that there's any good reason for dying. You could like Wolverine, for example. Hulk. If there's an ulting Hulk on the enemy, right, and you take him off the map and you kill yourself in the process, that's fine. Same with Spider-Man. You dive in. Like Spider-Man is a high death character. You give them slack, right? Because they dive in, they nab a support player, and they die. Right. That's a positive trade. I'll take that trade any day. So there is like circumstances where we allow the death, right? You know what I mean? But like still strive not to die. I think that's the most important.
Try and play your life. In terms of like the VOD reviewing, how often would you do it in like a day where you're with your team or something? Like let's say you're doing a day with Z10. Would you VOD review after every game as a team, or is it more like you collect a few and then is it a coach that does it? Do you guys do it yourselves? How does it function that way?
After scrimming, you typically have some mistakes to write down. You go look at those with the coach. He points them out and you talk about it, right? And then that's it. But like for the entire game, what we did, we woke up at 8 AM and then we met up on Discord, right? Like out of prep time, and we just looked at it and talked about it. Because 3 perspectives, we were 3 people doing it, right? 3 people doing it is like all you need, like to create perspective.
8 AM is crazy. Would you be waking up at 8 AM every day? That's your...
Yeah.
Are you a morning person in general? Was that hard for you?
No. I'm a night person for sure. But it's like having a job, you have to wake up and you have to, take it serious, especially if you want to be the best.
That's interesting from like a perspective point of view. Like, do you view it as a job in that way, or is it still, there's still a bit of passion in it?
It's a job. It's definitely a job, but it's a job you want to do. It's a job you enjoy doing, Like, you don't want to, sit down and do VODs, but at least it's in something you enjoy, right? And it's for something you want to be better at. So yes, it's a job. But it's completely different from actually, a job. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to do it and you enjoy doing it, right?
Yeah. For someone who's like thinking about it, there might be people out there that are like thinking about being a pro or things like that. Would you say like the passion is what you have to want that drive to be the best, otherwise you're never going to make it? Or
100%. Yeah, straight up. I'd say that if you only play for the money, for example, right, you can be a really good player. If your end goal is only the money, which, obviously you need money to live and work, right? And that's really awesome when you get paid for the game. But if that is your end goal, I can tell you now, you're not going to be a professional player. Not for long, at least.
Yeah, you have to have the passion, otherwise there's no point.
Yeah, I mean, like, money cannot be your end goal, just never. Never, ever.
I mean, because you guys, again, I might be wrong in this, but I think I'm right, that you guys have won about 21,000-ish? Is it, or you have, not to pull like your finances or anything, but just to give people a perspective on kind of,
Yeah, we have won money. It's also important to remember, some of this money goes to the organizations as per contracts. And, it takes a while. It takes up to 6 months for those money to be paid out. Like, I can publicly say we haven't been paid for Ignite yet, right? And like,
I was going to ask you under an NDA, or can you talk about
that? I signed an NDA for the first Invitational, but not for Ignite, right? And one of the things was like, I can talk about it now because it's expired, right? But like the Invitational, we just got paid now, like a couple of weeks ago for the first Invitational, when we weren't even under a CSN. So it means it's taken so long, like incredibly long, silly long to pay out. Because they have a 6-month period where they can pay us out.
As in that it has to be within 6 months, but it can be any time.
Yeah, they have 6 months. Yeah, they have 6 months to do it to complete it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's silly, very silly.
I don't want to put you in any bad spot or anything. Are you allowed to say the percentage that goes to like the org and stuff, or is that like...
Yeah, it's very typical that it's a 30-70 split, 30% to org, everything else to the players, right? That's pretty normal, and that's also how it was in C10, which I think is very nice. C10 was one of the best playing orgs, and they were without a doubt very generous as an organization, which is like something I really appreciated while being there. I felt appreciated as a player, and they were all super sweet and super nice. And we had resources like sports psychologists, like that really helped me with my struggle sometimes. I mean, like it's just awesome to be in a position where you get offered that, right? And then from the game you play and you enjoy.
That's so interesting. I mean, that leads me quite nicely onto, do you mind talking about why you decided to leave Z10?
Yeah, we had disagreements. No, I have no problem talking about it because I went on Twitter as well. Disagreements and general direction where we just disagreed. And, you know, as much as I love being in C10, it's not somewhere with the people now that I'd want to be, you know? Like, yeah, I love them all. I love them all. They're really all, like, I cannot overextend how much of, like, nice people they all are. But it's not where I want to be right now if I want to process, like continue going on, you know?
But you all left as, like, it's very amicable. You all left on good terms. You still talk to the guys and stuff? You still play with them?
Yeah. I still talk to them. Thank God. Because they're all really jolly people, right? As you say in Britain. You say you're jolly, right? I'm pretty sure.
Some parts of England.
Jolly good, yeah. Let me tell you
good.
something.
Jolly good.
Yeah, you stupid little chap. Yeah, go on then. Have a swing. That's, you know, I meet the British people on my team a lot, so that's why I have those things.
I love people try to guess what British people, how British people sound. It's hilarious. But yeah, you're still on like really good terms with them all and stuff.
For sure.
Do you have, like, in an ideal world, if you were able to choose, do you have an ideal org that you would like to work with?
Yeah, I mean, like, OG or Falcons is people I know are in the scene again, and to be able to play for one of those specific orgs is something, also from a Counter-Strike, you know, over the years, where I'd feel very prestige to be under the name, and I'd be very proud to be under the name Falcons or OG.
And right now, you know, we talked about right now you're kind of free agent. Are you actively looking?
Yeah, so there's a lot of tryouts going on right now, and it's very chaotic and it's very busy. But you know, that's how tryouts work, right? So
yeah,
it's better than having no tryouts.
True. I was going to ask about that in terms of because we talked about Z10 a little bit and how you like got recruited into that, I suppose. Through being scouted through CS, right? Or you were playing the first invitational and then got taken up by Z10. Was there the normal process for people who, you know, let's say people are looking into becoming a pro themselves and stuff? What's the usual process of being scouted and then doing trials, and how does that kind of work?
Yeah, as much as I hate it, rank matters when it comes to scouting, which is something I don't want to be true. But people look at rank like it really matters. I feel like it really don't. But definitely rank, and then your social presence and the people you know. That's one of the biggest things. Is if you know people, it's going to be way easier for you to get into, you know, the scene, right? Connections is more important than being good at the game, which is very sad.
Really?
But it's the reality. Yeah, it's reality of esports. It's always connections over anything else. If you have connections, it's way more important than actually being good at the game.
So your advice, I guess, to anyone looking to get into it would be, you know, start building a social profile and, I guess, grind the hell out of some ranked.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, for sure. Just keep your social profile, you know, to a maximum. When you have a chance to post something, you hit a nice clip, say it, you know?
Yeah, post that.
Show it.
Do you think it was always that way?
It's like selling
or is
yourself,
that
you know?
more of a recent thing because of the rise of streaming and...
I think it's always been like that. Also in like general in human society where like, you know, connections always have mattered a lot in everything, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But like in general, just connections in every aspect of life is super important. You can be a worse person at something, and just because you have connections, you get the job, for example, right? Like if you know the Apple CEO and you're less qualified, I can guarantee you're going to get the job before the guy who's qualified, right?
True. I mean, I got, you know, I used to work in bars and restaurants and stuff before streaming, and I got every single one of my jobs through people I know rather than in my CV and stuff. So I know that all too well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad,
quite
and
interesting
but
that
it's
the same
the
in
hell. Yeah, it is what it is. And you know, you have to make good with it. You know how, you know, if that's how it is, make sure you have connections. You know, like, cause now you know how it is, and then you can only blame yourself if you don't create connections. You know.
Yeah, spend that
So at
time
least you
to-
know. Yeah, at least you know, right? So
I think there's also like, you know, I think we see this in the streaming space a lot as well. I think there's also something to be said for genuineness and not... I feel like the, you know, the word networking is thrown around so much, and I hate that word, but doing it the right way, you know, trying to make genuine connections rather than, hey, can you do something for me? Hey, you can do something for me. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's also about, yeah, as you're saying, learning to do it the right way. You know, don't piggyback off someone. That's not how to make connections. You know, you have to be mutuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like in terms of like getting into a team, is it often the case where you don't know the guys that you're getting into a team with before? And what's that first process like as you start to learn,
You know,
each other and you start to play together for like the first time and stuff, you know?
I mean, like, normally you wouldn't really know anyone when it comes to that, but you know, when you've been in the scene for a while, you just know everyone. As in, you know, yeah, I know everyone who's trying with me, right? I know every single one of them, just because I've been in the scene longer now, right? But normally you wouldn't like know them, and that's okay. That's typical. That happens.
I'm guessing it's maybe just like a, you know, a little bit awkward maybe to start with, but then you kind of get used to it, or you start to.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna used to it, like 100%.
So can we talk about how sweaty this quick play game is while we're chatting?
Yeah, it's absolutely diabolical.
I've been like kind of just like on autopilot while we've been chatting, but holy Christ, this is sweaty. I think that's also symptomatic of kind of the ranked problems at the moment. But anyway, that's a whole other combo. Good lord. I see you playing a lot of Iron Man at the moment. Is that?
Yeah, it's just easy to play when you're all spiraling. You hold right click and everyone dies, you know?
That was your autopilot here, okay. I was watching a bit yesterday when you were doing some ranked yesterday, and it looked, I mean, just looked demonic, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is like a test of your faith to yourself and to your mental health.
Who's your current, let's kind of, I guess, let's move to a bit of like rivals stuff. Like, who are your top 3 heroes right now that you enjoy playing?
Ooh, I think Winter Soldier. Okay, I have 4. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah. Hit it.
Winter Soldier, Star-Lord, Punisher, and Phoenix right now is like what sparks joy in my life when I play those characters.
Is it just because they're like? Do you feel like you fit into a very particular style that you enjoy of these kind of hit scan? Like,
yeah, I mean, like I'm a very aggressive player in general, which is something all those characters kind of fit, you know, or having heavy firepower, one or the other. I enjoy both. Yeah. Also, flying around and just being agile, you know, is something I like in support. That's why I don't play so much Hela anymore. Like I still love playing Hela, right? Don't get me wrong. But playing Star-Lord, flying around, you know, being behind support players, tickling them on the toes, you know, and then they die, I think it's way more fun.
I hate Star-Lords. How do you feel about the Star-Lord TP?
Dude,
team up.
it's a get out of jail free card. I'm gonna do so much silly stuff with that TP. I can't wait.
Dumb.
You can be so dumb and you can just get away with it.
I mean, they're slowly turning him into Tracer. I mean, let's be honest. It's just they're making him a Tracer. For any of you guys, I suppose. Yeah, I can see your chat, by the way. For anyone chatting in both chats, obviously we're just chatting away here. We do see your messages, but we might not respond in the same way that we would normally.
Ladies, let me teach you a little trick.
Let us know.
Yeah, I agree. Let me teach you a little trick. Come to the left side of the map real quick. This is called min-maxing over here. I'm pinging.
Okay, yeah.
This is faster than walking the normal way. So this is min-maxing. All right?
Is it?
We get there faster. It's important.
I've never seen this entrance before. What?
Yeah. Look. And you're just there faster, and boom.
Oh shit!
Everyone's happy. That's called min-maxing.
I didn't even know that fucking door was there. I've played this game for like 6 months. Shit. Okay. There you go. We're learning.
That's always something, yeah?
How do you maintain motivation if you're stuck in low elo? That's a question.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't. It's more about discipline than motivation. I took a week break at one point because rank was just that bad in my opinion, which was the beginning of this season actually, where I took a break. I took a week break because like I didn't enjoy it at all. And you know, when you're playing ranked every day, it's not gonna be motivation that, you know, obviously having motivation, it comes and goes and it's really nice. But it's not what's gonna be, you know, pulling you towards what you need, right? It's gonna be discipline over anything else. Like, so when you play rank, even though you know, you just had the like most gut-wrenching loss of your life, right? You know. So I'd say motivation is really nice, but discipline is what sticks with you, you know. And it also is really healthy for you as an individual to learn that discipline, you know. It helps you later in life, and having discipline is just a really, really strong suit of any kind of individual, right?
And do you think, like, you know, you mentioned like taking a break, you know, at the start of the season for you, for example. Do you think that's a good thing to do, even if it means you're kind of not as practiced?
Yeah, I
maybe,
mean,
but it's better for the mental to like.
Yeah, so you know,
take a break.
A very important thing is, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy gameplay. Yeah. So like, you want to maintain your healthy body. You know, eat what you need to eat. Exercise. You need to be like light exercise is all you need, right? Go outside, breathe the air, and you know, have a steady mental. Like when I think I went 11-4, and I said if I lose one more, I'm taking a week break. I lost another one, and I took a week break. Because at some point, you know, it's gonna be so mentally, you know, I enjoy the game still. I've always enjoyed the game, but at some point it's just not worth it for me to play when I don't enjoy it, you know. So I'd rather take that week break, come back as strong, and then okay, I might be a little behind in rank. That is what it is, right? And I was behind in rank. I was Grandmaster 2 yesterday until I started playing again, right? Now I'm Celestial 2. We went 16-5 yesterday, by the way. If you didn't, I don't know if you saw.
Yeah,
in 16 wins and 5 losses.
Noted, by the way, for any of you guys, I don't know if you want me telling people this. They were boozing while doing that, by the way.
Yeah, I was started losing, so just like every time, yeah. I just say every time I lost, I'd do a shot, right? And we lost 3 times. We lost 5 times. I ended up doing 12 shots. So the math went wrong somewhere. I don't know where it happened, but you know it happens. You know.
Probably because of the drink. What were you drinking?
Malibu.
Okay, nice.
Amazing drink.
I'm a tequila guy myself.
Is it like with the salt all around the the glass?
Straight tequila.
No,
straight tequila.
okay. Thank God.
So you know, as I said, I used to work in bars and stuff. So you know.
Oh really?
I spent most of my 20s drunk.
It's actually fun. While I was on the esports school, right, we went out for like a trip to like a big city, and then I had tequila for the first time in my life when I was 16. Right, we went into a bar. We have to be 18 plus. Yeah. And was, you know, when Corona was happening on like on a street, you know, there's a whole street of partying, right?
Hi, Kenny.
Bodyguard said to me and friends, yeah, I'm gonna need to see some ID. And I'm like, wait, I'm like 15 or 16 at the time. So he says like, I'm just kidding, guys, get in. And he says, wait, I'm gonna need to see some Corona pass. And I'm like, shit. It's like, I'm just kidding, get in there, boys. So he double duped us, right? And he just lets us in. I had tequila for the first time, right? With the salt around the rim of the glass. And oh my God, I thought it was sugar, man. I engaged that tequila with the happiest smile on my face. When I finished, I was crying because it was just straight up salt in my mouth, bro.
I'm assuming it was like a cheap tequila and stuff as well, like a gold cheap tequila.
I think I paid 78 kroner for it, which is like €7, I think. 10 euro maybe.
Oh Jesus, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, well, that's pretty normal actually, I think, in Denmark. But it's just, you know, it's a funny story because they don't care that much about your age. When they were like, I'm just kidding, get in here, guys. And while we're clearly underage, right? It's a little silly.
Yeah, I was about 16, I think, was when I was pretty indoctrinated into the drinking culture. It's like, in England, it's very big. Like, you're indoctrinated pretty young into drinking. If there was one thing that you would change in Rivals in its current state, what would it be?
That's a good question.
It's a tough question.
I'd revamp the competitive system, and I'd punish people that don't use their mic or have a mic, or make a mic only queue. Because I think it's one of the most important things. It's communication, and I'd punish every. I know it sounds really rough, but I'd punish every single individual player who doesn't use their mic in game. I think it's one of the most detrimental things that ruins comp is like not having communication.
Is it a lot more prevalent though in like high tiers? Because obviously in lower tiers, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Is it like everyone knows to communicate in kind of the high lobby? So
that's the thing in high rank. I mean, like I'll give it slack in low rank, right? But when it's in high rank and it's just like, you know, you'd expect everyone to use their mic, right? Because we are high rank, and it's to take more serious, right? Not that you don't take rank unserious in lower rank, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't happen, which I'm like, oh well, that's silly, right? Why am I even playing this game if people are unserious, right? I'm trying to I'm coming really hard every game. It's just silly, you know? It's just silly.
I think it's obviously, you know, it's a very nuanced topic, I think, comms, obviously, because there's so much toxicity and stuff for certain groups of people that it can be difficult to want to use your microphone for some people. But in terms of, I guess, you know, the strategy of the game and stuff, it does make sense. I got swallowed. Are they really going to sit here? Oh my god. That's so BM. Talking about like changing competitive, one of the insights I thought would be quite interesting to find out is Rivals has talked a lot about being a casual game, right? Right from the off, they've talked about being this casual, fun game. As a pro player, how do you feel about that kind of... I think that's the thing they're going for, because they are investing a lot into esports as well, so it seems that they're not really, from the outside looking in, it feels like they're not really sure what they want to be. Do you guys feel that as well as pros?
100%. And it's right, you know, they're telling us that we don't want to, you know, they don't want to, you know, balance the game around, you know, competitive play and more like a casual experience, what they want for the game. But then they also state that they want 10 years of development in esports, and they lay out $3 million for an esports tournament. So it's very contradicting, right? Where we get massive financial support, but they don't want to balance the game for competitive. You know, they clash very heavily, right? Where it just doesn't make sense. So I think either they realize, you know, the potential of esports, like esports is what can keep a game alive. As an example is Counter-Strike, right? Almost 20-year-old game. I think it's also already 20 years old, right? It's only because of esports that the game is live, and the whole financial circuit is esports. Everything you play for in Counter-Strike is esports.
Still has an insane esports scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a major spot in esports scenes, and the same could happen with this game if they just take it serious, as they've done. Like definitely, when they announced like the $3 million tournament, that like reignited the entire esports scene, and a lot more orgs, you know, joined. And when those orgs are there, it's easier to maintain an esport environment where people compete to be the best, right? Because there's orgs in there, there's resources to help a player. Like for example, players, they need to pay rent, right? You can't do that if you're not on a full-time team. And if there's no orgs to provide full-time opportunities, then there's no esports, because you can't maintain esports. And right
do they give you like a salary at the moment, or is it not quite there yet to have like a...
Salaries are there for the better teams. As I said, also C10 was very generous to us, I think, which is something I'm still very grateful for. And it's like, you know, I'm not saying every team gets paid, because that's definitely not true. I'd say like maybe 20 teams in this game right now gets paid. Right?
Wow.
And it's, and you know, that sounds like so little, but I think it's so much right now, as in how early we are and the amount of competition there is, right? Because like when you get to top 4 in any region, it's just kind of top 4 that's battling it out, you know. Anything below that is nowhere near. Like top 4, like number 4 in the top 4, and then number 5 are so far apart that it's kind of silly, you know.
Do you think there's a massive gap right now between like the really top teams, like, you know, the ones that competed and won out, like yourselves in Ignite? Do you think there's like a massive gap, or is it not that big?
Very massive gap. Very massive.
So who would you say are the teams that are in this kind of top end? Not to make you call people
for
out,
Europe, Red, Berber Palabim, Silton SSC, and this bro are like the final bosses of the game currently, right?
And who's the last one, sorry?
You know, obviously they're... Huh?
Who was the last one, sorry? BBP, Rad.
BP, Silton SSC, Red, and Berber Palabim.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, I'm not saying it's impossible to beat them, right? But the gap between them and every other team right now is so, like, huge that it's just so significant.
Yeah.
But you can feel it in your game. And then I don't know about CSN right now because obviously they're trying out new players, and I have no idea how that's going. I don't talk with them about that because that tend to remain.
I would
private,
imagine there's a bit of a conflict when talking. Yeah.
But someone could potentially take season spots if they don't. Think about who they pick and choose. But that's how any esport works.
Yeah, of course.
Some teams fall, some teams rise.
Because we've got the if we're talking about pro play right now, we've got the LAN coming up on the 6th, the mid-season finals.
Yeah.
Do you think there's one region that's kind of dominating others right now? What do you expect to see from? You think Europe is dominating? You think they're going to kind of just 100%. Sweep it?
I think it's not even going to be close. And I know that's very biased because I'm European, right? But I think what I've seen, what I've experienced so far, I don't think it's going to be nearly anything like near what we've seen otherwise.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just a more thriving scene in Europe, or do you think it's just general skill?
Right and more play, right? But I think that I don't know how to explain it. Like Europe seems just more developed. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like in a way where all the NA teams they clash together and they kind of do the same. And I feel like every European team has their own style of gameplay, right? Where it's distinct, and that's what they win on. Like, for example, Pim, their style is dive. They win with dive. If they don't do dive, they don't win. Majority of their games, right? And everyone has like a distinct branch of what they want to do, and that's something that I don't think that's in NA.
Okay. If I was gonna put you on the spot and to make a prediction for who you think is gonna take it before the tournament starts, who have you got your money on?
If any of the European team wins, I'm gonna be obviously very happy. But with that being said, if Rats can learn how to play against Berber out of him, I think they're gonna get absolutely stomped. They're gonna stomp Berber. If they learn how to play against it, they don't learn how to play against it in time, right? It's gonna be a complete stomp for Berber. I feel like it's very situational on how the teams develop this and what they do, and how they're gonna end up doing anything. So it's more who like develops their game faster, right? To be able to play against the other.
Who can adapt quick enough to?
Yeah, who can adapt? Who can adapt quicker? The team of them, two that adapts quicker is the one that's gonna win against the other one. Because they're both really good teams, right? I'm not saying anything other than that. But it's a question of who adapts first.
And do you think, like, because obviously I didn't get to see any of the Chinese games. Did you watch any of the China region?
No, I wasn't there for like in 4 in the morning and writing in English. I was like, yo, everyone looks so happy, bro. I have no idea what y'all are saying, and I left. I was like, I joined for a moment, but I didn't really watch like the Japanese games at all, actually.
Because I didn't see the Oceania either. I only managed to. I was doing like 12 series a day between the EMEA and NA regions, so I didn't get to catch any of the Oceania as well. So I'm kind of going in a little bit blind with some of the other regions, other than EU and NA, but it could be some really interesting upsets, maybe. But by the sounds of it, you're pretty on the EU side.
Yeah, I hope. I just hope the Europe team wins. I can say personally, I want Red to win because I'm good friends with some other players in the team. Like, I live 20 minutes away from Melio, for example, right? Like, we go out and we eat sometimes. He's even on my Twitter, right? So I really hope he wins, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I hope for. Who really wins? But in the end of the day, it's the better team that wins, and it's only, when that game is being played, we're gonna see what's actually happening.
What do you think about it as, like, from a viewer perspective? Because I think, there's a certain feeling that games like Overwatch and Rivals are really difficult to watch for people who don't know the game. Because it's so fast-paced and there's so much going on that if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be very difficult to watch. Would you agree with that, or?
I definitely think that's right, without a doubt. But then again, I think with casters being better and better at doing the job, at some point, it's going to be way easier for people to have a watching experience where they can watch a game without really deep diving into the knowledge of the game, Like,
One
I
of the
don't have to be
things I
a
will say
prodigy
from
player to understand.
one of the things I will say from watch partying all of the games, and what we'll be doing again for the China tournament is, man, some of those end games, there's something about the way that Rivals plays out in these pro games, where those end games where you're fighting for the OT, you get the strange TP in, are mind-blowingly mental to watch. It's like the hype is unreal. I think, was it your game? Oh, shit, was it your game against? There was one of yours where it was like down to the absolute wire. I'd have to bring it up. I can't remember which one it was. But man, you guys had some crazy endgame fights. What was it like to play in those as a player when you're like, one tiny misstep, one tiny misplay makes or breaks the game, and you know it. It's like, it's OT. How do you stay calm in those moments? How do you stay measured and like play your game, you know?
I think it just happens where you don't really think about it. You know, you're just playing the game, and suddenly, you know, time that's really intense. But you know, it's just the way of you know, the flow. You know, it happens, and you know, after the game, you can think, holy shit, you know, that was a really
Yeah.
intense round, or you know, right? But when you're
Do you
in
feel
it,
it in the
the only
comms,
thing
though,
that really
like-
matters. Huh?
Do you feel it in the comms though? Like, is it like everyone's
Oh
getting
yeah,
a
for
bit
sure.
more,
Like it's very more,
shouty
it's
and-
more hectic, right? Because you need to like really specifically be focused on what you're doing, right? If it really matters. Of course, you're doing that always, but it's more tense when it matters. Like if it's a winning fight or the losing fight, right? But like definitely just, I completely lost what I was saying. Actually, I'm getting old.
Sorry, that was my fault for interrupting. Sorry.
No, not at all. But like just being in the trance, it's like being in a trance. You know, you're focused on winning, not focused on, oh, this is gonna look awesome if we win, or anything else, right? The only thing going through your mind, how do we win this round right now, and what do we have? What do we have resources? What are they gonna do? You know, it all happens so fast that when you think about it, you know, that's what you have to work with, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like just a thing, you know.
Do you have like a dedicated leader who is leading the comms and leading the charge, like a captain who's leading that, or is it just kind of a bit everyone for themselves and comming what is important, you know?
It typically goes like, you know, there's a support player that calls whatever, right? And then there's oh, holy shit, hold up, let's win this real quick. Let's lock in. Yeah, see, like, we're in the trance right now. We're in the trance. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, there you go. I completely lost it again.
Easy.
Yeah, so basically, right, there's like a tank, like a main tank, who typically calls where you go and what you do, and then there's a support player who has an overview of what they have and what they're gonna do. Does that make sense? So it's like ping pong with those two players, and then everyone else listens. Yeah? And then, you know, of course, but everyone talks, you know, and everyone comes with an idea, and everyone calls, oh, they have whatever, they can do this, right? But it's majority of the time that one person is going to be focusing on it, but everyone is still doing it, yeah?
Yeah. But atypically, it would be like the tank making the like pressure calls, the support, like keeping track of cooldowns and ults.
Precisely.
And then just calling out any plays you might make, I guess, as DPS, like, or any picks you get, so that, I guess, you've got the information you need. Or calling out your ult timers and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's majority of it, right? But that said, everyone does speak, you know. It's just that, you know, a question of, in that situation, who has what information and who has... If someone has an idea, everyone listens, you know? Oh, did we lose? I think we lost. Oh, damn.
Well done. I hate DP.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Let's lock in. Let's lock in. We fucking own these kids. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I'm on the way back. I'm on the way back.
Shooting Hulk. Shooting Hulk. Yes, sir. Own him. Own him. He's dead. Good job. Good job. It's last fight now. Win the trends.
DP's low, I think. Burning rocket. Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Shoot the fishman. Good job. Fishman down. Fishman down.
That's back in ult. Nice.
Oh, this is intense, huh? Notice how we're just playing and not saying anything, and we know what's gonna what we're gonna do.
Damn. We win that.
Sure, of course we do. We locked in, you and I.
Damn.
Nice. There you go.
Okay, I may have been a little bit carried in that one, guys. 29 and 3. May have been a little bit carried. There we go.
But
yeah,
you
because
know,
that's obviously,
that's
the stuff that we
just
don't
what happened
see.
there. Imagine what just happened, but just with more comms. That's pretty much how it goes, right? In situations where it's the last fight.
In terms of like, you know, a game flow, does it start off pretty like calm and chill, and then it builds up in intensity as it like gets closer and closer, or do you?
What?
I guess that's the mark of a good team, right? Are you able to stay calm under pressure?
I guess the way you would structure it, right, is that it's very structured in the beginning. You have your plan ahead of you. You know what's gonna happen, what we're gonna do, what they're gonna do, right? That's the plan. Every fight, you make that plan, yeah. And then after that, we counteract with what happens. You know, oh, if someone gets picked, if we get a pick, you know, that's gonna change the entire plan, and that's when, you know, the structured beginning kind of slips through, and then it's more of how you can structure after what happens in the fight, you know, which, you know, causes you to either win or lose the fight. So if you structure after something happens, and that's good, you win the fight. If you structure something bad after, you know, the original plan, you know, because it's never going to be the original plan. Something's always going to happen, right? That's why it's fun, because it's unknown.
Yeah.
It's more about maintaining tranquility in chaos, you know. You keep making, yeah.
That's an interesting way to put it. I like it.
The plan, yeah.
I think one thing I did just want to bring it back to, because we started talking about it but didn't really like finish the thought on it, was about how do you think Rivals should approach the game moving forward as like from a pro perspective? Would you like to see them keep this kind of casual idea, or do you think they should just abandon that and really just lock in on?
I think they should work with the players of a professional scene, right? They do that in Counter-Strike sometimes. Where it's like you work with the professional players, and, you know, I think it just defines the game better in a professional scene, right? And I don't think balancing the game from a professional standpoint will change casual gameplay at all. I think it's the other way around. If you confine the game from a casual perspective, that will change professional play. The other way around, I don't think if you do it with professional play, it's not going to change how you think about, you know, pro play. Do you know what I mean? Like, it affects one, but if you do it the other way around, it doesn't affect it, right? So it would be lovely if they did that. You know, take inspiration from people doing, you know, ideas. You know, listen out to people, talk about it, be more. I mean, I feel like they are really open already with what they want to do, right? But, you know, give insights. What's you know. What they
it's one of my
doing,
big criticisms of them. That I think one of my big criticisms of them at the moment is that I feel like they do these dev diaries, which are amazing, and they're really, really good, but then they don't really communicate anything else outside of that.
Exactly, and that's what I mean, right? They can, you know, just keep up the communication, and then tailor the experience for the professional players, so that will still work out for the casual players, you know. But not the other way around. You can't tailor it for casual and expect pro players to thrive in it, you know?
Well, I mean, that leads me nicely to what do you think the balance is like right now? You know, this is pre 3.5. So how do you feel like the balancing is in its current state?
From the church.
Yeah, that's.
I think, in general, the competitive state has always been fine. I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, like, you know, the professional scene, not the competitive. You know, the professional scene has never been in a bad state. I just don't think it's in a good state, and I think it could be in a better state. You know, but everything can always be better. I think what's most important is that they just keep up open communication and tailor the experience to professional players, and then, you know, everything comes after that.
Because there's obviously, I think there's always like there's always the back and forth between, you know, if you take Apex as an example, you know, there was a big outcry of Apex balancing because they were pandering too much to pros rather than like the player base at large. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was I think people still feel that way, honestly. But it's like you said, I guess the idea being that, like you said with CSGO, the pro scene can sustain a game community if it's done well. And as long as, I guess, my feeling on it was, I've always said, I think you could do casual by, because at the moment we've got ranked and we've got quick play, right? And what ends up happening is, from what I've seen, is ranked is messy, so then people play quick play, so everyone who would normally play ranked and sweat out there then sweats in quick play. But then everyone who doesn't want to sweat in quick play has nowhere else to go right now.
Yeah.
So there's no casual place. There's no like custom games or like different game modes for them to chill in casually, because there just isn't those options there yet.
That's
So
the
I
thing
think,
as well.
you know-
I feel like, you know, they could really go if they just maintained all the game modes that were released over the years, or like rotate them around, you know. Like I feel like that would be so nice for everyone, even for like me. Like sometimes I wanna do silly stuff, you know. I'm a silly goober. Sometimes I wanna
I
fly
loved
around
that
with a big-headed
TFT
Jeff.
mode. That Ultron Matrix shit was cool. I like that. I don't know why they took it away.
Yeah,
Stuff like
for
that,
something like
there's
that,
no
right?
reason to
Or
take
just
it.
rotate anything around that like related to this, and it's just awesome, you know? Because it maintains a new experience for everyone, while you know they don't have to constantly make new game modes if they just rotate them around. I'm pretty sure they do that in Overwatch as well, no? Like they rotate the game modes,
Yeah, Overwatch does it. Apex does it as well.
and it's just a model where rivals can take from it, you know, because they know it works. Because Overwatch exists, and Overwatch is on it, right? So they know it works, so therefore they shouldn't be scared of it. There's no risk. I don't think there's any risk involved for them.
I feel like they've done that with a couple of things, though. You know, one of the big gripes I had about this season was placement games, or lack thereof. One thing I don't really understand about their philosophy right now is why you wouldn't add in placement games if you're going to do a ranked reset. I mean, you were talking about the reset at the beginning. Is that something, like, do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think placement games are needed in this game?
Yeah, for sure. Because like, you know, imagine being top 100 in this game, right? I'm dying to a Spider-Man, bro.
I can't be on my dick while I do it.
Being top 100 in a rank reset and being like 12 points eternity, right? Like, I'm not saying you're a bad player if you're 12 points eternity, but in my eyes, we shouldn't be in the same game, you know? Even though we're gonna end up in the same rank if the rank reset. I think it's so silly. I think it's so silly, and it ruins the rank. Like, rank resets are amazing, but not if they do like that, like they're doing now. Because it's just not fun for them, because they go with people that are too good, or like better, right? And then the other way around, where I go against people that are not really good, and then, you know, it's just sad
It's
for both
never
of
really
us,
made
you know?
sense to me, because if it was a brand new system that had never been implemented, you'd be like, okay, well, you know, they've had to build something new. But every other game has placements, so it's not like they're reinventing the wheel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
We
what I
know
mean.
it
When
works
they
in
have
every
something like
other game,
Overwatch to go by, like an essential role model of how to do everything, written in stone, what to do, what not to do, right? It's quite literally written in brick and stone, you know? What damaged Overwatch, what didn't damage Overwatch, what, you know, helped Overwatch, what didn't help Overwatch. They have a step-by-step tutorial on what and what not to do, and they're not using it. I don't understand. You know?
Yeah, I think that's like, I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't. And I think that's where the community is starting to get a bit frustrated about stuff like this and about the matchmaking. Because can't really see a valid reason not to. Whether that's, I don't know, whether it's like, it's hard to code, I don't know, but it was something
I think they have the resources by sure to do it, at least. I don't think there's any excuse for not doing it.
I did say this earlier. I mean, this game made like 100 million in like the first month or something stupid. Like, it's not like they don't have the money to do it, you know? But it does feel like I don't know if you feel this way. Sometimes it does feel like they're focusing a lot on skins and the cosmetic side and not really addressing the core issues of the game. Is that something
they
you
for
feel
sure
as well?
are, you know, prioritizing skins, right? Because it's what pays the bills. A new game mode doesn't pay anything, right? It's just that in their eyes, I'm gonna assume it's a waste of time, you know? Because alright, yeah, the player base enjoys it, but are we gaining anything financially from it? No, we're not, right? I think potentially what they could do was like, you know, make a correlation between a map and a skin where you can kind of combine it together, right? So you still get a new game mode and maybe like a cool skin for whatever hero, right?
Yeah. I've just realized we have been nattering on, and I realized time is getting away from us a bit here because we've already been going for quite a while. So I'm just going to try and touch on some things that I think people would really want to know. So I think one of the things that's interesting is that you were talking earlier about learning the game, right? And about coming from CSGO to a game like this and not really understanding the core mechanics, like, you know, spacing, you know, playing this kind of front to back style or how to play certain comps. Would you be able to give like a rundown of, like a quick rundown of, I guess, like expected roles and expected macro things that you should be doing in a game like this, or what you should be thinking about when you're learning a game like this, and what you had to
I mean, I used to be very observant of 3 things. I think mainly rotations, positioning, and your deaths. Like the 3 majority where you can be the best individual player, but if you keep dying and you have bad positioning and you don't notice any rotations, it's whatever, you know? Then it's whatever. So that's like the 3 main things that I watch out for, and then you can say, I don't know how to do that, and then that's completely fine. What you can do is go into a bot, look at your gameplay, look, oh, I died here, why did I die? And then there's always a reason why I die. You don't die for no reason, you know?
Yeah. So I guess into this is a very broad question, so I'm going to try and like trim it down a little bit. For the type of heroes that you play, so you know, for these kind of Iron Man, Punishers, Winter Soldiers that you said you're enjoying a lot right now, what's like a bad positioning that you're looking out for that you try and keep an eye on to make sure that you're not doing?
Yeah, like overextending, especially when like you go damage healing characters. Again, your life is super important because you need the damage always, right? And if you're overextending and you're dying to that, then I mean, like, it's just really, really bad. I'd rather have a 10 and 0 DPS than a 24 and 17 DPS 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You'd rather have a DPS that stays alive and plays their life rather than dies a lot more but gets killed on the flip side.
Emma Frost never surrenders.
I guess, well, I was going to ask what drew you to DPS, but I think we kind of touched on that already a little bit. I guess, do you have we'll kind of move on a little bit after this. Do you have any message for tank players, you know, to hold on and your time will come right now? Or do you think they're always just going to bully tank players?
Or,
well, I would say, let's say DPS players. Do you have a message for, like, you know, DPS players who are going to want to learn Blade, like, let's go with, like, the new hero. Do you have any advice for, like, learning a new hero in terms of what the best way to do it is? Is it just jumping into quick plays to learn it, or, like, going into the practice range and doing it that way? How do you learn a new hero? Let's ask that.
I think the best way of learning, like the way I learned Phoenix, for example, right, when it came out, is just play the hero. Play the hero. Insta-log that motherfucker. You know, like, and everyone's going to want to insta-log, but you insta-log faster, yeah? And then experiment. Be silly. Do whatever you want to do. Because you might invent the next, you know, all the techs on every single hero at some point were unknown, you know? And then someone figured it out, and oh, that's really awesome, right? You can do that with this hero. And that's, you know, how do you think those takes were invented? That was invented by someone who was silly and tried something, and that's like, oh shit, that's really amazing, you know?
Oh, that works, yeah.
So like, just be experimental, and try what you think works, and if it doesn't work, then you lose 20 points, or you will lose a quick match, right? It's way cooler to find something that works once in a while, and then you're gonna be like a symbol for the new hero, and you can be like, yo, I did this tech, you know, and that's kind of stylish to be able to say that you did a tech for a hero, right?
True.
I mean, I think it's kind of style points.
Yeah, I'm getting bullied. Let's we'll quickly touch on, because we haven't really touched on this, but I wanted to talk about it just quickly, like, what's life outside of the game for you? What's life outside of, like, being a pro? Do you, because I think what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, we talked about a little bit about, like, a typical day, and it's very intense, and it's a lot of hours when you're, like, scrimming and stuff like that and practicing while you're being a pro. What's life outside that for you? Do you have, like, hobbies and stuff you enjoy doing? Do you try and make sure you take time to see friends and anything like that, or are you pretty dedicated?
One of the main things is my dedication. Like, some people see that as good, some people see that as bad, right? I take time mostly for family. I don't think beyond that. It's more of a, if it needs, not a priority. And that's always how it will be, and that's how it is for me personally.
Yeah. You just do what you have to and what is required to get ahead, I guess.
No, I died. I got 2 people. No. Yeah, but like definitely just maintaining my health and focusing on how I become the best, because I want to be the best, and I've always wanted to be the best, right? That's how my mind is. I want to be the best. I need to be the best.
So you put in the time to do that, because
I need the time to do it, right? So you need to prioritize sometimes, and it's, you know, it's the reality of anything that you want to be good at. Sometimes you need to prioritize that over something else, right? but definitely just maintaining my health and maintaining my gameplay. Look at my gameplay as well.
Yeah.
There's two main things is my health and my gameplay. Then you can go into the boring stuff as financials and stuff, but that's really up to you what you do. And there's a lot of different things you can do, right? But that's like pretty much my day. And as hobbies, my hobby is playing Marvel Rivals, which is so fun. When you have a hobby
That you get
that you can turn into a job,
Yeah, 100%.
right? And you love doing that, I think it's amazing. And I think I'm blessed, very blessed to be in a situation where I can do that, right? And because there's a lot of people that can't, right? And I couldn't do that in Counter-Strike sometimes, right? And
yeah,
the people back then, they were blessed to be able to do it, right? And I couldn't. So I know how it feels to be on both sides. And being able to do it, you need to, like, really, it's it's such a privilege.
I mean, touching on that, we haven't really touched on the streaming part of, what you're doing. In terms of like, is streaming something that you are quite passionate about as well, or is it something that you just enjoy and you want to connect with people while you're waiting to find your team? Is it something you could do while you're a pro, or like not enough time?
Yeah, so streaming is something, when I go back into another full-time team, I won't have as much time to stream, but I've recently found out how amazing it is to stream, how amazing it is, and how mind-blowing to me it is that I have over 40, 50 people sitting in my stream, 50 people with just as complex lives as me, right? Sitting and watching my stream, watching me, right? I think that's completely mind-blowing. And I've really taken a joy to it lately. I think it's a blessing to have people in my stream and people in general wanting to watch my gameplay. It's another blessing in disguise, right? That I feel like a lot of people take granted, having viewers, right? I think it's completely
100%.
An amazing thing. And the fact that so many people are watching, it's crazy to think about how many people with just as complex lives watch my game play. Even though that's a little deep, into whatever. Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's something. I think sometimes it's easy to forget because streaming is so metric focused and so numbers focused. But if you talked about 40, 50 people. Can you imagine having 40, 50 people in your room right now, stood behind you watching you? You'd be like, holy shit, this is wild.
Yeah.
And I think people forget.
I remember the stages when you got your first 10 views. You were shaking a little bit. I was like, oh my god, there's 10 people watching my gameplay, right?
Yeah.
It always continues like that. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'd love to continue doing, and I
do you think it's something you can juggle while being a pro, or do you think it's something you can juggle, or just as and when you can, because the pro comes first?
It's more as when you can, because a lot of time, you don't have much left when you're a pro. So it's definitely something where it's I want to do it, but I also need to be realistic about what I prioritize, which is my pro career, right? But I still love streaming, and it's something I definitely want to do. When I can.
And we talked a little bit earlier before we jumped into this about starting to edit and getting learning to edit and stuff. It's just fun for you, right?
I have some YouTube videos on my channel. I actually have some old Counter-Strike videos as well on my channel, where I didn't edit them myself, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of learn how to do it yourself. So I'm starting to do TikToks now. Kind of funny.
If you an interesting part of it, I guess, is when you're with an org, is that something that they present to you as part of it? Like, we will help you make content, or we will give you staff to help you from a streaming perspective, because it also builds the brand personality as well. Is that part of a package?
I can tell you, in C10, it was a requirement, or we would have deducted pay if we didn't post on social media.
Really? Oh, that was part of the contract.
That was part of the contract. But with that being said, they also provided every single resource to be able to get it posted. They had editors, they had everything you needed.
Wow.
So
is it a set amount a day you'd have to post?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't want to go into the numbers of that, but it was realistic. It wasn't anything out of your mind, I think it was completely realistic.
Do you think other orgs might be more unrealistic about that, and that you maybe just looked at with Z10, or do you think in general it's not usually that bad because they want you to focus more on being a pro.
I think usually it's not like I have never had before, at least, where it's like you require it. But for me, it wasn't a problem because I do it anyway, right? Some of the players did struggle a little bit with it to begin with, but when it becomes the norm, it's way easier for you to do.
Let's do. I just wanted to quickly, like, I think everyone's got a pretty comprehensive, feel for you now and kind of what you're about and how you view things. I wanted to take a quick look in the future and how you feel your future might look like. So, we talked about that you're looking for an org right now and you're doing a lot of, oh my God, I get the DPS, what? And you're doing a lot of, do you say you're doing trials right now or you're looking at doing trials? Yeah,
I'm in a bunch of different trials right now.
I'm assuming with the idea of like getting together for after this LAN for the next season of tournaments and the next round of tournaments and stuff. Would you consider switching regions with that, or would you always want to stay in?
I would love to go in
org?
I've been also publicly, I've been public about it, and I wrote that.
Okay.
I have some offers from NA right now, as a matter of fact. We're actually good to move to NA, but there's a lot I have to reconsider.
So yeah,
but like offers like that, I think it's
stuff, right?
mind-blowing, right?
Relocation costs. There's a lot more. Sorry, I was gonna say there's a lot more stuff involved in that, right? With like because you would have to move there, I assume, and relocate. Yeah, exactly. Physically.
But the fact that I've been offered that, right, where everything is paid for, I think it's again so crazy, and it kind of shows my worth. I think it kind of proves to myself that, all right, some people, they look at me like a good player. That makes me like really happy, really blessed, right?
That must feel amazing, like from I guess the security point of view, because I guess, as a pro, there can be a lot of uncertainty about, performances or like, being able to stay with an org, because it's not like you do sign contracts and stuff, but it's very fluid, right? The way that you move around.
Yeah, you can go from 0 to 100, in no time, so.
Like, this is something very nice from a mental health point of view there, right? To know, hey, there's a lot of people that want me to join their team, so I must be doing something right,
Exactly, and that's what I've experienced, and it's super awesome.
Well, I won't press you on that because I assume you can't talk about that yet.
No, not yet. No. But again, I'm still up for offers like that, and I think moving to America is something I'd do with everything in place, and it's something that's really cool and an opportunity of a lifetime,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're still. I think the other advantage you have on your side is you're still very young. You're 19. You've got. I feel like sometimes esports has like a very finite age on it as a pro player. Do you feel that pressure of age of like, I have to be successful while I'm younger? Or
that was for sure way more prominent in Counter-Strike than it was here. That's 100%.
You don't feel that pressure as much really in Rivals?
Not in Marvel Rivals as much, in my opinion, at least.
I would assume because it's to do with like reaction speed and stuff, with age, that age feels a lot.
But also like
there, right?
the amount of, it's way harder to go pro in Counter-Strike than it is Marvel Rivals, with the amount of people doing it. So it's just way more pressure about being young, the new young talent, right?
Yeah.
Moonlight, I'm gonna TP above them, you can ult, okay? You're gonna kill every single one of them. My god, let's go.
Stratting.
Come. And he swapped to Jeff. With his ult. Alright, I'm closing the portal.
Love that. Would you ever, looking much further future, you've had a great pro career, you've won what you wanted. Have you thought about a later transition of any like coaching or managing after that? Or it's not really even crossed your mind yet?
I have too much fire in my heart to ever be a coach or a manager.
Really?
Yeah, it's always been like that. It's either I completely stop or I make it.
Yeah.
It's only, yeah.
I mean, I think I would imagine that drive and that passion, though, helps you so much to get to the top and stay at the top. Because you know that's what you want, and that helps you go the extra mile, right? Do those extra scrims, do those extra VOD reviews, and push yourself,
Yeah, for sure. For sure, no doubt about that.
Out of sight.
I'd say I have a similar thing with streaming, otherwise I wouldn't still be doing it, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got lucky. I'm assuming we're in your level lobbies, which is
Where are you? Oh yeah. Oh, my level. I have no idea actually how that works. How it functions.
I don't know how that works in Quickplay, if you're leaning it, but yeah. If you could choose the legacy of your, like, you know, looking far in the future. If you could look back and say, hey, this is the legacy I left behind, what would the ideal of that look like for you? Like, what would you want to leave behind as a pro, if that makes sense?
I would be known as the best support player ever. I mean, not the support, best DPS player ever.
I was gonna
That's
say,
my
best support player.
That's what I want to leave behind. Is I want to show everyone and myself that I really could. And I also hope I could be remembered for being honest and humble about, you know, my whole process and being open. And you know, I feel like some pro players, without naming anything, feel like they're quite literally beyond others, and I feel like that's a very silly standpoint to have. Because we're all humans, right?
Yeah.
In the end of the day, right? So I hope I get recognized for my skill, but also for my personality of being very extroverted and very open about everything. Which I feel like I really try to do and try to sit like by my own example, right? But just being open and extroverted about every process in the way. I've done AMAs on Reddit for the esports scene of Ignite when I felt like the scene wasn't cleared up enough, right? And there's a lot of like silly stuff that just isn't so unknown, right? I did a AMA and stuff like that. I just want to be remembered for.
I think, you know, this is such a great example of that. I think one of the reasons I wanted to do this kind of series was, from my experience, I think the way to build to build a fan base as a player and to be seen and enjoyed is you need to show that personality. I think people get behind orgs sometimes, but predominantly they get behind players that they enjoy. Whenever I watch a team, I'm supporting a team because I really enjoy watching the players. Whether that's their gameplay is really exciting to watch because they do fun and unusual stuff, or they're like insanely good. It's also about the personality behind it. And people supporting you as a person and not just as a player. And I think that's, you know, why people then get behind players and orgs. So I thought this would be a really cool way to like try and shine a light on that a little bit. Because right now, you know, Rivals Esports, as we talked about, is still very young, and people don't really know the personalities behind it and stuff yet. So
exactly, and I want to be one of those leading. I've always been a very extroverted person, and I want to be one of the leading people behind something like that, right?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I wanted to kick off this series with you. I thought you'd be a great person to show that off.
And I accepted immediately. This is something I want to do. So it's a good match, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So with that being said, let's kind of finish off a little here. I've got some quick fires for you. Some quick fire questions. They're just a bit dumb, and we're just going to try and we're just going to quick fire reel them off a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite snack?
Those like very flat pancakes with syrup in the middle. Like they're very dense. I think it's called what is it called actually? I don't even know what they're called. It's like very flat pancakes with like syrup in the middle. It's hard pancakes. Wait, let me find the name, okay? I'll find the name. This is very important.
Okay. Feels like a normal snack. Shroot waffles? Is that one?
Shroot waffles, there you go. So like small pancakes, right? That's like crunchy. Yeah, those ones, bro, they are amazing.
Okay, most overrated hero in the game.
My most what?
Overrated hero in the game.
Oh, I think that's a good question actually. Shit.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Sorry.
I think Emma, to be honest.
Oh, ballsy, Emma. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Worst hero to play with randoms.
Punisher.
A player that you'd never want to 1v1. Like a pro player that you'd never want to 1v1. Or it could be a rank pub guy that you would think you would lose to every time. Or not necessarily lose to.
On DPS or?
On any.
Oh, well, Lugia got on Wolverine.
Yeah, Lugia. He had some fucking crazy moments. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite band or favorite like artist?
Bruno
Like
Mars.
music wise. Bruno Mars, solid. Do you have any superstitions?
I have no idea what a superstition is.
Something
What?
like you have to wear a specific underwear when you play because you believe it makes you money.
Oh. I have a like a what's it called? You know, like the cross of Jesus. What's it called in English? Crucifix.
Crucifix. Yeah.
I always have a crucifix on my setup. I'm not even like I'm religious to a point. I'm not that religious, but I find confidence in having it around. So I always put it up when I play games.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you have any like irrational fears or any like?
Dude, my fear of spiders is immense.
Oh, I fucking hate spiders.
I'll be a grown-ass man screaming at a little-ass spider in my
right
apartment.
there with you. Hate them. Do you have any... Well, we just talked about it. I was going to ask any pre-match rituals, but you just talk about it. What's the last thing you Googled?
Let's go check.
Yeah, check it out. What's the last thing you Googled?
The last thing on my history is my Twitter, where I make a post about your Twitch link.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. If you weren't a gamer, what career would you want to do?
Lawyer or biotechnology, which is what I studied.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any like useless talents? Or like party tricks?
Useless talents. I can put up a tent in under a minute.
You can put up a tent in under a minute?
Yeah. Okay. Around a minute, not under a minute. I'll be fair. Around a minute, okay. I can put up a single man tent.
That's pretty impressive. Like.
Yeah. When I was a child, we used to do it a lot, and we had like competitions. So. It's one of those very simple one-man tents, like where you can only lay down just to clear it out. It's not like anything
like where you
impressive.
Put the pegs in and yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's pretty good. Under a minute.
Okay, around a minute. Around a minute.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
This one guy named Simply Nickish. He's pretty damn sexy. But otherwise, no, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
What's your favorite like TV show or movie to like relax to or binge when you're not gaming, if you have one?
Well, Rick and Morty when there's new episodes, or I've been going into Smiling Friends recently, which is like something. It's just diabolical. Okay. I don't even know how to explain that. Any like South Park, Smiling Friends, Rick and Morty, all those kind of like
animation stuff.
Yes, I love it. I can relax to that all day.
Okay. What's your most used emoji?
There's what is it called? Like the stone guy, the bruh stone guy.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Yeah, the bruh stone guy. Yeah, I use him in every other message.
That's hilarious. What's your favorite smell?
My favorite smell, gasoline.
Wow. Wow. What's a food that you absolutely can't stand?
Can't stand anything with fucking mushrooms. I'd give you an uppercut if you do anything with mushrooms. If you come into my house and you offer me anything with a mushroom, I will one-tube combo you and throw you out the window. I'm not playing around. Don't put mushrooms in food. What's wrong with you?
Just all of it. Just all of it.
The taste, the texture, everything about a mushroom. Why would you go into the forest and pick up a mushroom and eat it? What's wrong with you? What? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, natural. I'm very picky with food, and mushroom is one of the things that I like. But I'm horrible
really
with food otherwise. Yeah.
How?
I wouldn't actively search for mushrooms, but I don't mind eating them if they're.
And then I'm gonna be so honest as well. Oysters, sloppy mess.
Slimy,
I don't know how anyone. Yeah, sloppy, slimy. How do you eat that, bro? How? Like my parents eat like, oh, it's so tasty. Knuten, come over here, try one. I'm like, Mom, I would rather not eat a glorified giant booger. You know, I'd rather eat anything
just the
else.
luck of it. Yeah, I'm with you on that
exactly.
one. I'm with you on that one. And finally, if before we get to some quick viewer questions, if you could instantly master any skill outside of gaming, what would it be?
If I could, sorry, I need to hear that one.
If you could instantly master any skill outside of being a gamer, what would it be?
100-meter sprints.
Solid. All right, we've got a few. I don't know if you have from your side. Feel free to like throw them in as well.
Guys, if you have any questions, you can just type them out, right?
Yeah, if you guys have got questions, type it right now, and we'll power through some. So we've got, which character is your guilty pleasure? Like a character that everyone hates, but you quite enjoy playing secretly.
Oh,
that you're willing to admit to. Is this gonna be?
I think Adam.
Girl?
It must be Adam.
Adam. Okay. How would you feel if roll queue was brought to Marvel Rivals?
I think it would kind of ruin the creativity of the entire non-roll queue. But I wouldn't mind soft roll queue in ranked games where they try and match 2-2-2. But I wouldn't want to implement where you have to play 2-2-2. I think that ruins all of the creativity.
If you had to pick a team of 6 Marvel Rivals heroes to protect you from Thanos, who would they be? 6. All right. Yeah, so you got a full squad to try and protect you from Thanos. Who would you choose?
I'd do Loki. So we choose 2 healers, 2 DPS, and 2 tanks. Okay.
As you like, Loki. Whatever team you want. Yeah.
I'll do Loki and I'll do. Who's like Giga Chat actually? No, I'm gonna do Raccoon.
Rocket.
Loki, okay. No, Loki and Ultron. Loki and Ultron, okay?
Loki and Ultron.
And for the DPS, Iron Man.
Okay.
And Hela.
Okay. Iron Man, Hela.
And then for tanks, I would do Doctor Strange for sure. And I think Magneto.
Yeah. And Mag, yeah.
Guys, I don't know anything about Marvel, by the way. I never watched a Marvel movie in my life. I never read a comic, okay? It's just who I think is really good in this game, okay? Just before I get
think it's a pretty solid. You got some gods in there. Like, you got some intelligent people. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
I forgot Thor. Oh my god, I forgot Thor. I'm going to swap Magneto with Thor. There you go.
Really?
Thor's the GOAT. Yes.
Thor is good, to be fair. To everyone coming in right now, by the way, hello. Thank you for all the follows. I do really appreciate it. I will get to you guys in a mo. We're just doing some questions right now. What are the chances that NetEase will remove engagement-based matchmaking from Rivals?
If it's a thing, which I'm being told it is, then I think never. Because it's what you said they have it in other games as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then it's the norm. They're never gonna
get rid. In your eyes, what are the best tanks, damage, and supports right now? Just give us, I guess, like 1 or 2 of each.
Ooh, I'd say
who are the best heroes in each?
Okay.
Each one?
Yeah, Mag, and then Phoenix, and Loki.
Think Phoenix, really?
Yeah, I think she's completely busted. I think
for any particular reason?
Well, her self-sustain and her damage output is busted if you do it correctly. So I think if you're any good Phoenix player, you're gonna outmatch any other DPS or tank or the support. I think.
Have you been doing the Have you learned the Beyblade tech?
With Phoenix?
The crazy melee, like 100
to
0 melee.
It's called Beyblade? I had no idea, but yeah, I do that.
Yeah. It's crazy. I saw a video of like 100 to 0ing a Groot in like less than a second. It was
it's crazy.
We've got another hero one. If you had to pick 6 heroes for the wildest party ever, who's on the list?
Okay, Loki for sure, and then Luna would be the DJ. All right, okay.
Solid.
Let me cook now.
Yeah.
And then Groot, he could build a stadium, so I'll go Groot. And then
for architecture.
Doctor Strange. Yeah, and then Doctor Strange for the magic and whatever. And then Torch, and then we need one more, right? Torch for the vibes.
Torch would be great vibes.
And then Jeff.
That's it. That's a
solid
answer. That's a super solid answer. I think that's all of them from me for now. Unless you got any questions from your side.
I have one then. It's just, do you think Marvel Rival placement matches should be added, right? And I definitely think they should do that. Because again, I use the example all the time. You can be 12 Eternity, and I can be 500, one above all, and we're gonna be in the same rank after the reset, which I think is diabolical because we're not on the same skill ceiling at all. So I think they should add that. Yeah.
If you had to buff any hero in all categories, which hero would it be? So let's say you have to
buff a hero in all categories.
Yeah, buff one hero in each one. So a tanker, a DPS, and a support. Who would you buff?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
That's a tough innit.
I buff Thor a little bit more. I think Thor is not prevalent enough.
My boy.
Then I buff Adam Warlock. Give this man some motherfucking movement abilities, please, for the love of God game. And then on DPS, Ooh,
There's a lot of DPS.
let me think. Who in the world?
It's hard
feel
to
like they could
find
buff-
one that you'd do without it being busted, right?
Yeah,
For
that's what I mean.
DPS.
I feel like Mr. Fantastic is still kind of bum. I don't know why they
You think he's kinda
nerfed
bum?
him to begin with. So I feel like if they just revert that, give this man some love, and he's still a playable character, right?
I've been playing quite a bit of him lately. I think he's so good at stalling, but maybe like
Yeah, for
as
sure,
a
for sure.
DPS, you know.
Mhm.
I've been ruined so many times by like a dual tank and then a Mr. Fantastic and 3 supports, and you're just like, just feel like you can never get into them.
Just scroll up to make sure I didn't miss anyone. But I'm getting flamed for the fact that I don't know marbles. Yeah, I'm just getting continuously flamed by I don't know marbles. All right, yeah, well, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Then I guess let's wrap up with one more question. What advice would you give to anyone looking to become a pro? What would be your number one piece of advice?
Sell yourself online. That could be misinterpreted in the fact that, you know, stream, clip, make connections, show yourself off. You are the product that you want to sell. You're the product you want to show off. So be the product you wanted to buy yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the most important thing you can do as a player. Like I'm doing right now, for example.
Amazing.
This is me showing myself, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's exactly
something like
it.
this is an example of, you know, what you want to do as a player.
And I guess give yourself a shout out on that note. Where can people find you?
Well, my Twitch is Knuten Marvel Rivals, MR for short. My TikTok is Knuten, guys. I'm gonna post a video today that you have to go look at, okay? Because I edited myself and I'm very proud, all right? And then I have my TTV
Oh, wow.
Knuten TTV, which is my Twitch, where I stream and, you know, win games while drinking Malibu. So
Yeah,
I think that's yeah.
This is him right now. So go and show some love for sure. And I guess is there anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to finish off with? Like,
I want to shout out to my mom and my dad, and then yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, listen, it's been fucking awesome, and I super appreciate you taking the time out to sit with us. And I think hopefully you guys really enjoyed it and got a lot of insight from that. And thank you for joining. It was really good fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Well, I hope I helped some people, and I enjoy being here. And you know, this is where I strive. I like being in something like this, you know. So
amazing. I'm gonna let you go, so you don't have to carry my ass in games anymore. But I thank you so much for joining, and
thank you
have
for
a great night,
man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and then you know, everyone have a good time. I love every single one of you. Thank you for sticking by and being in the stream. All right, guys. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Good day. Good
Cheers.
afternoon.